Coming up in the bulletin, Electoral Commission endorses 4 presidential candidates for December polls.
NDC
Hello, good evening and welcome. This is News Hour live on GBC24. We are also live on Ghana television. My name is Akpene Avo Ajaja.
And my name is Evans Echampon. Now to the stories. 4 presidential aspirants out of the 17 that filled the nomination papers have been given the nod by the Electoral Commission to contest the December elections.
They are Nana Akufo-Addo of the NPP, John Mahama of the NDC, Ivor Greenstreet of the CPP, and Jacob Osei-Yeboah, an independent candidate. This follows the vetting and acceptance of their nomination forms by the Electoral Commission. 17 political parties picked up forms to contest the presidential race.
As it stands now, we have only 4 presidential aspirants who have been given the nod by the EC to contest the December elections, and they are the NPP, Nana Akufo-Addo, NDC, John Mahama, CPP, Ivor Greenstreet, and Jacob Osei-Yeboah as independent candidates. So 13 political parties have been disqualified. We have here Hassan Ayariga, APC, Dr. Edward Mahama, PNC, USC, Dr. Edwin Boateng, Kofi Apalu of Independent People's Party, Mr. Pableje of the Reformed Patriotic Democrats. We have the PPP, Dr. Papakosi Indu, Dr. Henilate of GTV. We have Mr. Richard Nixon Person of UDSP, Manasega Jamayole of the NDP. GFC Thomas Bodjo, he has also been disqualified. We have Sammy Osei-Walker, an independent candidate. He has also been rejected. Madam Ekia-Donko of GFC, she has also been rejected. And then number 13, we have Akwesi Adai Odike. Hence, we can say it's on standby because the minister said to the EC, challenging his candidacy to the USC, and they have given him till October 14 to finish all the details in court, and then he can go ahead and then be part of the process.
Right.
So for now, he's on standby.
Shirley, I am very much interested in why the PPP was rejected. Can you tell us something?
Okay, for the EC, they have a minimum number of subscribers who must endorse your form.
Right.
And according to them, he did not meet that number of subscribers.
Right.
And then some portions, were not sold properly, and then there were some parts which were not signed.
What about Hassan Ayariga and Madam Kunedu?
Okay, for Hassan Ayariga, we were told that he did not give evidence of his hometown and even residence in his constituency. And then, of course, there were some false signatures. And in the case of all these false signatures, they've been reported to the police and Attorney General for processes to be done, because they are saying that it is illegal. So Madam Ekia-Donko, we were told that some of her forms, some parts were not properly filled, some too were not signed at all. And then there were parts that you can tell that a minor endorsed, which is improper and it's illegal as well.
And that was an earlier interview with GBC24's Shirley Bewa. Meanwhile, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Madam Charlotte Osei, says the 13 political parties were disqualified, failed to meet the criteria set by the Commission. At a media briefing in Accra, the EC chair said the Commission can disqualify any candidate if any of the criteria are not met, in line with Regulation 72 of CI 94.
The key criteria for presidential candidates to meet are that The forms you submit must be signed by the candidate. The forms must also be signed by a total of 432 registered voters across the country, because you need 2 voters to sign in every administrative district. In addition, 1 voter cannot endorse more than 1 presidential candidate. In the event that a voter endorses more than 1, it disqualifies both candidates. You must also name who your vice president nominee is, and the vice president nominee must meet the constitutional requirements for the office of vice president. Your forms must be properly filled and submitted to the returning officer, in the case of presidential, the chair of the Electoral Commission, on or before the date appointed for the receipt of nominations. Your form should be submitted in quadruplicates. Your form should include a properly attested statutory declaration which states that a candidate is eligible for the office of president and has met all the requirements. You must also add 4 pictures in accordance with the dimensions and specifications in the law. And finally, you must pay your filing fees. Now, the Commission is obliged under law to disqualify a candidate if any one of these requirements are not met. The law does not give the Commission the discretion to determine which obligations can be waived and which ones cannot be waived. If a candidate does not meet one of those qualifications or criteria, the candidate stands disqualified. These are the nominations that have been accepted by the Electoral Commission as meeting the requirements of the law, and we'll announce it in the order in which their submissions were received. Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo of the New Patriotic Party, John Dramani Mahama of the National Democratic Congress, Ivor Kobina Greenstreet of the Convention People's Party, and Mr. Jacob Osei-Yeboah, an independent candidate.
And we move on. President John Mahama has launched the Braille version of the NDC 2016 manifesto in Accra. It is the first of its kind in the history of political manifestos. It will allow the visually impaired to read and assimilate the NDC manifesto, which the party says must reach all segments of society. Napoleon Atokito reports.
President John Mahama launching the Braille version of the NDC manifesto. His audience, a cross-section of the disabled community in Ghana.
We have also drafted more than 4,000 persons with disability into the Youth Employment Agency program. In this program, persons with disability employed will not only learn a skill, but will also earn an income while in the program. I have asked the Youth Employment Agency to employ a further 6,000 and bring to the number 10,000 the number of persons with disability employed.
The president symbolically handed over the document to a representative of the Ghana Blind Union. This is a novelty muted by the president, who is a communications specialist, in a bid to reach out to visually impaired persons with the message of the NDC. At least the blind who gets access to the manifesto in Braille can read and know the plan NDC has for the country if it is re-elected to office. The NDC says the provision of the manifesto in Braille is not out of political expediency, but to ensure that all groups, no matter how small it is, are given equal attention. Ebenezer Ama and Princess Mensah from the Kriapim School for the Blind read contents of the Braille document.
An extract from the 2016 manifesto.
As a social democratic party, we stand for the right of the disabled to be included in every of our daily lives. Believe very strongly that their individual and collective talent must be harnessed for national development.
President Mahama also outdoored model tricycles to be distributed to physically challenged persons nationwide if the pilot proves successful. The tricycles will enable them to move around in a convenient manner. President John Mahama announced that government will encourage the study of sign language at all levels of education in the country to bridge communication gaps between the abled society and persons impaired in speech and hearing. He said the law will enforce construction of disability-friendly buildings. That disability is not inability was ably demonstrated by a physically challenged musician called Pozo.
At a media.
The president was on the dance floor with some of them. A rare moment indeed. Government has launched a national social protection policy which pays particular attention to vulnerable groups in the country. Napoleon Atukito for GTV.
It's still the news live on GBC24 and GTV, and it's still state of the race. And on the issue of the 13 political parties that were disqualified by the EC, we've been joined on the line by the Communications Director of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Eric Jakbasu. Hello, good evening, sir, and thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Jakbasu, can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Jakbasu. It appears we don't have Mr. Jakbasu on the line, but we'll definitely get him to speak to that particular issue of the 13 political parties that were disqualified by the EC. It's still the news live on GBC24. Let's move on. It appears Mr. Jakbasu is on the line now. Hello, Mr. Jakbasu.
Hello.
Mr. Jakbasu, thank you so much for your time. Now, what happens next, especially for those who have been disqualified? What is going to happen to them?
Now they will be informed, and I'm sure they have already been informed of their state of relative to the elections, and I think their monies will be refunded to them, and we may have to try next time.
Oh, okay. So it means that they're not going to be given the chance to maybe do the corrections and reapply.
No, please. Corrections are supposed to be done within the limited period of the receipt and acceptance of the nomination. That was between 29th and 30th of September. So once that is done and the funds have been invested, those who are qualified have gone through. Those who are disqualified don't have any chance to take part in these year's elections.
Okay, and what will happen to their parliamentary candidates? Can they contest?
You know, we're not disqualifying the entire party. We're disqualifying individuals who have come to file their nominations as presidential candidates. At the parliamentary level, they are individuals. They also fill different forms, and the requirements of those forms too are different from the requirements for the presidential election. So these are issues treated on case by case and individual basis. Unless, of course, a disqualified presidential candidate would want to withdraw the private fee he or she has paid for his constituents, I think if they properly fill their documents, they will stand at the parliamentary level.
Okay. About their filing fees, are you going to give it back to them, refund the presidential candidates that...
Yeah, once you are disqualified, you have your money back.
Okay. But this particular issue about mistakes in the forms, we get that all the time. Every electioneering year we get that. Is it that you don't explain to them what they are supposed to do with the forms?
Oh, if you come into contest for a position such as the presidential candidate of the country, I think it's a serious business. So the point is, one, the CI-94, which we have the regulations governing the elections. They have copies of it. We launched a guide to candidates and their agents. They have it. The nomination form even educates you enough on how to fill the form. And about a week before the filing of the nomination, we even give them a press release highlighting the essential things they must make sure they do. But within that period, the focus was just on the declaration of assets. While when you read the whole document, it's telling you to pay particular attention to specific requirements so as to make it when the time comes for the filing of the nomination. So education-wise, I think they are educated enough. They have been well informed. The information has been made available to them before they fill the nomination forms.
Okay. Mr. Jakpasu, in the case of Mr. Kwesi Odei-Odike of the UFP, what is going to happen to him?
The returning officer indicated that he has up to the 14th of this month. He has a case in court involving his own party, which does not make him eligible unless the court disposes of the case. So he has up to 14th to abuse the commission sufficiently for the returning officer to consider his position.
Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. Mr. Eric Jakpasu is the Communications Director at the EC, speaking to us on that issue about the 13 political parties that have been disqualified. Let's move to the camp of the NPP now in a still state of the race. The flag bearer of the new patriotic party, Nana Akufo-Addo, has reiterated that he will deliver on every promise he has made to Ghanaians if he is given the nod. He said the one district, one factory, one dam for villages in the north, free SHS and job creation would all materialize under his presidency. At a rally at the Trade Fair Center in Accra, Nana told thousands of supporters that he has a very competent team of people willing to work to create equal opportunities for all Ghanaians if elected to the Flagstaff House.
All streets leading to the Trade Fair site was blocked by both vehicular and human traffic as sympathizers of the new patriotic party came from the various regions of the country to witness the launch of the Change Manifesto. The manifesto, titled Change, an Agenda for Jobs, outlines how the party intends to improve Ghana's economic situation. The NPP's vice presidential candidate, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, said the country is in economic crisis because the NDC government is not managing the economy well. He said if elected, an NPP government would focus more on production than taxation. The Savannah Accelerated Development Agenda, the Pensions Act, development of private sector and local industries are some of the areas that would receive special attention in an NPP government led by Nana Akufo-Addo. Various speakers at the party's rally encouraged Ghanaians to put their trust in Nana-Addo and the NPP. The manifesto launch provided a setting for some people to do business.
Who she says is competent and ready to lead the nation.
Dr. Bawumia nile economics ni denje eba neba chake ni bi ni mo femo ananu chumo na mechu na wona shikaye wakotokumi Nana Addo Akufo-Addo iwu ni ngela yo nile no neba nyefe no fiano ni ewe ake ba nyefe eba nyefe.
The NPP flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo said he believes in the power of the thumb and will continue to appeal to Ghanaians to give him the opportunity to rule the nation.
We use school fees to meet electricity no dey yanka wasan adwuma nso ni ho afi obie kwan amaye si yɛbɛfa yɛ kokromoti so yɛbɛfa yɛ kokromoti so na saa ɔhaw no yɛyi ne nyinaa afiri yɛ so.
The MPP says they want the country to be politically stable and at peace.
Is still state of the race on GBC24. Now, news just in is that the Progressive People's Party PPP is holding a media briefing at the party's headquarters. Let's now go over and speak to our reporter on the ground, Rachel Korte. Hello, Rachel.
Hello, Afeni.
Rachel, what is this particular media briefing about?
Yes, it was about the EC's rejection of their candidate, their presidential candidate for the December election. A statement was made by the national chairman of the PPP, Alotebu Hammond. According to him, after hearing the announcement made by the EC concerning the issue, they immediately arranged for a meeting and then sent some national executives to the EC office in Accra to find out what exactly happened. According to him, when they got there at exactly 4 p.m., the offices of the EC have been closed. Now, the national chairman is also asking supporters, members, and sympathizers of the PPP to remain calm as they continue to find out what exactly has happened. Yeah. So, tomorrow, we'll hear from them. That's what he.
Oh, okay. But was Papa Kwesi in them? Rachel? Yes. Was Papa
The chairman
Kwesi?
also said that the decision taken by the EC against the PPP will not affect the parliamentary candidates.
Yes, that's what the EC says. It says it's not going to affect the parliamentary candidates. But was Papa Kwesi in Doom there? Did you see him around in the briefing?
Yes, because they earlier on had a meeting, an executive meeting.
Okay.
That was before the first statement, yeah.
So what exactly is the next line of action for the PPP? Did they mention anything about going to court or?
No, they said everybody should stay calm till tomorrow. They go to the EC's office again to find out what exactly happened. Then they will come out to say what they have finally decided as a party.
Okay, thank you so much, Rachel, for that update. Rachel Korte is GBC24's correspondent currently at the PPP headquarters where they are holding a media briefing on the disqualification of their presidential candidate. It's still News Hour live on GBC24 and GTV. Let's do some other stories now. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the 11th of October, is International Day of the Girl Child. The day is observed to highlight the need for an increased investment in collecting and analyzing girl-child-centered data. This year, the day will also be used to focus on addressing issues that hinder girl-child development in fulfillment of the UN Sustainable Development Goals.
According to a United Nations report, out of the over 7 billion population in the world, 1.1 billion are girls. The International Day of the Girl Child, marked annually on October 11, focuses on empowering and highlighting the challenges girls face around the world. These challenges include teenage pregnancy, gender inequality, and limited access to education. In Ghana especially, data on young adolescents is almost non-existent. This year's celebration will focus on addressing the challenges associated with the collection of data on every aspect of their lives, attitudes and views with parental consent.
Investment in data is necessary to be able to measure and understand the opportunities and challenges girls face. The data will inform interventions by government and development partners and track the progress that we make together, meeting girls' most pressing needs in Ghana. We need this data to ensure that no girl is left behind, no matter where their location is, no matter their color.
The UN is asking government and other institutions to partner UNICEF's Global Girl Data Movement to address gender gaps in data collection, analysis, dissemination, and use. Shirley Annan, GBC24, Accra.
And the government says it will continue to promote healthy church-state relations to advance the development of the country. Vice President Kwesi Amissah-Arthur said that partnership is critical for a holistic development of especially the country's human resource. Nito Bibininto has more.
It was Right Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena-Boafo as the administrative bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana, with the robing of the new bishop, presentation of an insignia of his episcopal office, the wearing of the pectoral cross, ring of marriage to the flock of Christ, and the handing of a Bible to him. Dr. Paul Kwabena-Boafo now assumes full charge as the administrative bishop of the church. In his sermon, the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana, Most Reverend Awatri Pratt, mentioned virtues such as obedience, perseverance, and care for the rejected as values the new bishop should exhibit. And to him, that was necessary in the choice of deacons so as to revive the church of old.
Sometimes when we talk about Yakwakwa revival, yeah revival, Obia revival. Revival is of God. Abira asorfo ayesiti anya ama onyankopon ase. Yet na hyade yeso. Ebo brase na tire no eno onyankopon ho meba. Be ye ebo yemu. Na so ba o de akyade nkwa no de ba. And with those gifts we nurture and mature and grow God's church. This is revival.
Vice President Kwesi Amissah-Arthur was enthused about a cordial relations between the church and the state, which must be strengthened for mutual benefit.
We know there will be tensions, but we are resolved that between the church and the state will work out and iron out all the problems so that this country continue to grow in peace and stability.
From the cradle and formative days at Asenkregwa in the Western region, Right Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena-Boafo has risen through the thorns of life to the level of the administrative bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana. He replaces Right Reverend Kweku Asamoah-Kyere, who retired barely a month ago. Nto Bibininto, GBC24, Kumasi.
The death is announced of the officer who was in charge of the elite presidential guards at the Flagstaff House during the First Republic. The family of late Colonel David Zanlerigu said he died April last year, but tradition required that certain steps are followed before the president is formally informed.
We bring you greetings from Nabdam and the North as a whole. Your Excellency, as you are aware, each day comes with a new message. And so, one of these days, not quite long ago, we woke up and the message was not very palatable. We heard Colonel Zanlerigu had departed us, passed on to eternity. As you're also aware, by our tradition, at his age and stature, though you would be filled with grief, you don't just begin mourning and wailing and announcing to everybody that he's gone.
His name will go down in the history books of Ghana for the role he played. He joined the Gold Coast Army shortly after the Second World War ended, and after Ghana became independent, he was retained in the army as a weapons instructor. He rose fast to become the officer commanding the Presidential Guards Regiment, coincidentally here in the Flagstaff House. And so it's a happy coincidence that, you know, we should be receiving news of his death in the same location that he had responsibility for.
Good evening, it's time to talk business. My name is Esther Edu Ohumewu. Competition brings about innovation. One person holding on to such an ideal is Isaac Kwame Frimpong, also known as journalist Kontomri. Mr. Frimpong is not following the norm by selling his wares from the booth, but takes his farm produce to the doorstep of his clients. He told GBC24 he's promoting a new market which he terms the market on wheels. This is 30-year-old Kwame Frimpong, popularly known as journalist Kontomri. Kwame says he got the nickname through friends who always commend him for being innovative in areas of his endeavor. Due to financial handicaps, Kwame dropped out of school, later becoming a trader. For 15 years, he has sold coconuts, vegetables and other farm produce. He began plying from a spot near Kantamanto, a popular commercial center in Accra. Following constant harassment by the city's task force, he moved away from the roadside where he sold coconuts and began to do serious commerce by selling farm produce. The change encouraged him to carve a niche for himself in the trading of fresh farm produce by bringing the goods to the doorstep of his customers.
I said when my 15 years. I decided to rebrand my trade and also send my produce to the doorsteps of customers.
He added that his enterprise was driven by his desire to be self-employed.
What motivated me the most is that I didn't work for someone and receive meager salary every month.
So I
One cannot overlook the appearance of journalist Kontomri as he goes about his duties wearing a suit. He said, although he has ventured into a female-dominated trade, his appearance also fetches him customers.
Most customers just buy because of my appearance or just to commend me for entering into a female trade.
Some
of his customers spoke to GBC24.
He's making ends meet, and at the end of the day, he's not engaging himself in anything that will bring about public hazard and all that. So I believe it's good. And also, I'm encouraging young guys and young women to follow suit. They should get themselves something to do to engage them. At least it will make ends meet. It's better than, roaming about in the area doing nothing and bringing all sorts of problems to themselves.
It is a good venture for them. If you want to do something like this, it won't take you much for the beginning to say. So I would really advise them to tap some, motivation from him and go into such a business like this, because his items too look very fresh. I don't know where he gets his sauce from, but mostly when he comes, the items are very fresh and very cheaper, and you can afford to buy for your, for your family.
Journalist Kontomri says His unique outlook gives him an advantage in the highly competitive business. He added that by avoiding the traditional brick-and-mortar shop, he has succeeded in eliminating huge bills incurred in running a business from designated shops. Although he plies his trade in Dansuman, Kontomri, as he is affectionately called, intends to be in a neighborhood near you soon. The Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana has adjudged the Managing Director of GOIL, Mr. Patrick Akoli, as the marketing man for 2015, while the Managing Director of Unilever, Ms. Maidi Akutu, became the marketing woman for 2015. Ecobank Ghana won the Best Bank of the Year award.
The vision of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, CIMG, is to develop world-class marketing professionals and practitioners for effective marketing practice in Ghana. In line with that, CIMG provides world-class training and conducts examinations to develop the skills and competencies of its members and the general public. Awards were given to companies and individuals who excelled in the marketing of products in the year under review. Ecobank Ghana was judged the 2015 Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana CIMG Bank of the Year. The Marketing Man of the Year award went to Mr. Patrick Kwame Akoli, MD of Ghana Oil Company (GOIL). Ms. Maidi Elizabeth Akutu, Managing Director of Unilever Ghana, was also adjudged the 2015 CIMG Marketing Woman of the Year. The Marketing Practitioners Man of the Year went to Jesse Amwa Ijapon, Head of Marketing Millicom Ghana Limited. The Marketing Practitioners Woman of the Year was grabbed by the Director of Sales and Marketing of Graphic Communications Group, Ms. Shirley Aqua Harrison. The 2015 Marketing Students Award was given to the Head of Procurement at the Gas South Municipal Assembly, Mr. Yobuwo Victor Ejoye. Other awards were also given to companies that did extremely well in the various fields of endeavor. These included Hall of Fame, Media and Not-for-Profit Awards. The rest were Business and Product of the Year, Emerging Brand, and Special Awards. The Omahene of Esikado Traditional Area, Nana Kobnanketia, appealed to the political leaders in the country to preach a message of peace on their campaign platforms.
To make sure that there will be a Ghana tomorrow, it's you and I. Because Yugoslavia is gone. Czechoslovakia is gone. The Soviet Union does not exist again. So when people say that, oh, tomorrow Ghana, I say, be very careful. If you don't hold this egg properly, it will shatter. Don't take Ghana for granted. Never. I don't. And that is why I preach peace.
The national president of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, Mr. Kojo Mata, urged winners of the awards to be responsive to the environment within which they operate by adopting technologies and practices that are environmentally friendly.
For the first time in the history of the awards, the marketing practitioner, hospitality facility in the hotel category, and radio program are going to have 2 awardees each.
Some of the award winners expressed their gratitude to the organizers.
This year, the CIMG did not even do the assessment themselves, but handed it over to a research company to do on their behalf. And I think that will significantly limit any such challenge with the awards. And I think really also, if you look at the caliber and the quality of awardees, their work speaks for themselves.
Nobody can come from anywhere to develop this country. Let us use our purchasing power to support Ghanaian companies. That is the only way the economy can grow.
The CIMG Awards is 27 years old.
Let's now take the interbank rates. And now to the commodity board. And that was business. Thanks for watching.
News brought to you by F-Pack blows your pain away. The mother of 1-year-old Moses Na is appealing for support to enable her son undergo a surgical procedure to remove a tumor on his forehead. The cost is 70,000 Ghana cedis.
A tumor is a swelling of a part of the body, generally without inflammation, caused by an abnormal growth of tissue. Little Moses' condition was detected at birth with a spot on his forehead. Doctors at the Tema General Hospital initially demanded 10,000 cedis for the surgery. Unable to afford the amount, the spot grew bigger, causing his forehead to swell. His condition has affected his ability to breathe. Madam Felicia Setwagbe, his mother, is currently unemployed. She disclosed that the father of Moses is at large due to his condition. She's appealing for support to help her raise the 70,000 Ghana cedis required for the surgery.
I am pleading that they should help me because I have nothing to do than to beg them to help me because we all don't know what this little boy will become.
Donations for little Moses can be made into the account number 003 232 5276 028 at the Universal Merchant Bank, Ridge Branch. Account name Felicia Setwagbe. Felicia says no amount is too small.
Okay, and it's time for some sports news. My name is Adeline Bebley, and in our very first story, a draw with the Cranes of Uganda on home soil left a huge implication for Ghana's World Cup qualifying campaign. The spoils shared very much to the delight of Uganda, but to the chagrin of Ghana. It sets the stage for recovery and a chase. Napoleon Atukito does a post-match analysis of standstill at Tamale in the following report. The Ghana Army men and Ghana Air Force women's volleyball team are winners of the Greater Accra Volleyball Champion of Champions competition. They beat 5 other teams to be crowned the Silver Star champions after the 2-day competition.
The grand finale of the second edition of the Silver Star Volleyball Champion of Champions competition took place at the Lebanon House at Tudu in Accra. In the women's final, the Ghana Air Force lads in the blue and white jersey faced the Ghana immigration side. The action-packed encounter saw the likes of Martha Bavon, the best player for the season and the best attacker in Africa, leading a team, the Air Force, to claim a historic 3-0 victory. Air Force were stronger in spiking and blocking and won the first set 25 points to 23. Their movement on the court made things difficult for immigration lads in the yellow and green jersey. Martha Bavon was instrumental as she led the attack to win the second and third sets by 25 points to 14 and 25 points to 17. The men's final was between Ghana Army in the white jersey and the Ghana Air Force. The clash was the second meeting in the competition for the two sides as Air Force lads in the blue jersey won the first meeting. Air Force, with repeat in mind, made their intentions known. They unsettled their opponent in the first set, winning by 25 points to 19. The Army, parading some of their best arsenals including Osman and Wisdom, led a comeback to win the second set by 28 points to 26. The men in the white jersey, the Army, continued their fine display with some quick attacks, blocks and smashes. They won the third set by 25 points to 23. They crowned their efforts with a commanding 25 points to 19 win in the fourth set to claim a 3-1 victory. Here are some reactions from some players and officials.
We are one of the best teams in Ghana, and Air Force is our team, but we have the experience, we have the exposure, and we are ahead of them.
The whole of the year, we were able to beat them, but this is the only time that they were able to beat us. But it's a hard luck. Next time we'll train hard and come and beat them again.
It was close matches all around between the men and the women, so a very nice competition all around. I used to enjoy volleyball when I was much younger, so I guess it's the love of the game that continues with the company. So we try to help them as much as we can. This is the second year that we've done it, and we hope to continue doing so in the future.
First, we lost our first match with Air Force. and we can't come second time and lose again. That is our determination that we are winning this set. That is why we won the set.
It's been very, very eventful, very competitive. One of the fiercest competed league seasons we've had in recent times. And we crowned it all today with the Silver Star Auto competition.
Thank you all for the sports news. Up next is entertainment.
The art and entertainment segment of the news, we bring you a variety of political songs that have been released in support of some political parties ahead of the December polls.
Campaign songs are meant to cheer a political party and its supporters during political campaigns. Whereas some people are paid to compose songs for political parties, others do it for free. This is a song by Boxer Bukumbanku for President John Dramani Mahama. Gospel artist Great Ampong has composed a song for the NPP's candidate Nana Akufo-Addo. The saucy singer Miss Bell composed this for John Mahama. Evangelist Dinah Samoa did sing for the NPP. He has taken a U-turn from the NDC to NPP, and this is a song Lucky Mensah has composed for the NPP ahead of the December elections.
And that's all in News Hour tonight. Do join us later for News Tonight. Many thanks for your time.
And have a good evening.
Hello,